I'm coming out and saying it. I am an addict. Just like if your car runs out of gas and you got two options. You can leave it on the side of the road and say, hey, we had a good run, or you can give it its fix and fill her back up and let it ride for a little bit longer. And my addiction isn't quite the same as many of yours might be, or some that you might be familiar with. It's not cigarettes or alcohol or heroin or fentanyl. That rhymed somehow. My addiction is making fun of Watchtower whenever they put out videos begging for money. I know what you're thinking right now. Wally, you have made more videos about Watchtower begging for money than there are books in the Bible. And we don't have to study the analytics here and see if that statement is correct, but you might not be too far off. But the thing is despite all of the times that they say that they don't beg for money, they are not an organization that ever asks people for money, somehow, some way, they're always able to just make things a little bit worse. And today, boy howdy, we got a new video that dropped, and it is absolutely hilarious. So please join me on my strange addiction and let us have a little bit of a giggle and take some time out of our day and just laugh at the Jehovah's Witnesses.
You got a little problem.
I got a big problem, Jerry.
Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally, and today we are looking at a video that just dropped. It's absolutely funny to me. The logic that they try and use is absolutely hilarious, and then they drop a real whopper. So let's get right into it. But before we do, don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps, liking the video helps it get out to more people on YouTube. Subscribe if you'd like to see further updates, especially about my road trip and how that's going, where I'm going to be, and things like that. With all of that out of the way, let's do this.
Are you amazed when you see the work Jehovah is accomplishing through the earthly part of his organization?
Yes, 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 yes. No, no, no.
Each year, more individuals are being reached with the good news. We're blessed with a variety of new spiritual food. Worldwide construction work is ongoing, and relief aid is provided to victims of disasters.
Is it really true that more people than ever are getting reached by the preaching work? Then why in tarnation would you say, looks like you guys don't actually have to be reporting time. I know we could never really explain it clearly biblically for years and years and years, but hey, we're just going to let everyone off the hook. Just tell us if you preached or not, with the exception of pioneers or circuit overseers. If you guys missed it, that was an update in the during the annual meeting. Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't have to report time anymore. So, I think that one's kind of like, okay, whatever. More spiritual food. Is there more spiritual food than ever? I remember back when I was a kid, we would get in the mail 2 Watchtowers and 2 Awakes every single month. Now they're down to just, I don't even know how many Watchtowers and Awakes they make. Is it just like 3 or 4 a year now? So the books, every convention, you would always get a new book, something. There would be like a new DVD or something that was released. They don't really get that anymore, so I don't, from my experience, they're not getting more spiritual food either. The relief work. I've already talked about this so many times. You guys are probably tired of hearing it, but when they did their little annual report to brag about how much they were doing for humanitarian aid for the world, it was $12 million. $12 million for an organization of supposedly 8 million members that spans the globe. If you want a full breakdown, this is the thumbnail to that video. You can check it out. I talk about it more there, but it's absolutely just paltry when you compare it to other organizations of a similar size. their little $12 million is absolutely laughable. And as I make a point in that video, we don't even know if that $12 million was spent repairing and fixing Watchtower's assets that they owned. Because that's not humanitarian aid. That's my car broke down and I had to buy new tires and get the oil changed and fix a shaft rod thingy. I'm not a mechanic, clearly here.
You may wonder, how do we make sure that we have the financial means needed to care for all of this activity?
I would like you to crunch those numbers again.
It's programmed. There's no such thing as
Just crunch them. Just crunch them, please.
crunch.
Did it help?
Your generous and consistent practice of setting something aside helps us to be confident that the work that's planned can be accomplished with Jehovah's blessings.
Are we in some sort of other dimension? What happened in the universe where it has now become necessary for you to give your money in order for the master of time and space, the God of the universe, someone that can snap their fingers and do anything they want, in order for their purpose to be fulfilled, it requires cash from you? That's the only way that we can be confident that God's work is going to be done, is if you give us your money. And at the same time, it's like, okay, you asking for money, and yet you're doing less and less and less. So where is all of this money actually going? People are going to start scratching their heads and asking questions, and Watchtower needs to be careful when they're making videos like this, but it gets even worse, believe it or not.
In the following video, notice how throughout the history of Jehovah's modern-day organization, brothers and sisters have benefited from the practice of setting something aside.
Throughout the years, various arrangements have been used to set something aside. Starting in the early 1890s, an insert was provided in the December 15th issue of the Watchtower. Brothers and sisters could send this insert to the branch office to indicate how much they hoped to be able to contribute to the Good Hopes Fund in the coming year. Regarding this method of giving, the Watchtower of December 15, 1896 stated, "Knowing in advance what the friends wish and hope to do enables us the better to regulate the work economically and efficiently." However, the Watchtower of May 1, 1959 made it clear that this indication was not an obligation. It said, "This is not a pledge, but merely a statement of what one hopes to be able to contribute during the coming year."
Watchtower, you know that I'm going to make a video when you do this. You guys have tried to shut my YouTube channel down multiple times. I know you're watching. Be better. You know I'm going to critique this, and you just left the door wide open. You didn't even try. So if you go back to 1896, it says the usual good hope, I think that's that pink slip he was referring to, blank goes with this issue. Do not understand it as a request, but as a notice of opportunity to join in this service. Knowing in advance what the friends wish and hope to do enables us. Okay, so they made it clear that, hey, the classic Watchtower line, we're not asking for money. We just want to make you aware of the opportunity you have to give money. But you know what was a little bit different back in the day? A breakdown of some of their finances. So I have a resolution there, anyone watching this from Watchtower. Why don't you provide the people, all of Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide, a itemized list of how you are spending their donated money? Because I know for a fact that there would be a line on there that would say CSA cover-up, or you'd probably hide it behind something like courts and other fees, and then try and make it sound like you were fighting for your religious freedom in a country where maybe you blur the lines, but we are wiser than that. I want to know, what is the actual dollar amount that you spend every single year of these hardworking people's money to not answer for your crimes against humanity and your insufficient policies for covering up CSA? I think it would be great if you guys would learn from your own history and make an itemized list of just how you spend your money. Speaking of that, the other article that they mention is absolutely hilarious. We have a famous quote from Charles Taze Russell at the very beginning of the article. So it's called Sharing the Good News by Contributing Personally. And it says, back in August 1879, this magazine said, Zion's Watchtower has, we believe, Jehovah for its backer. And while this is the case, it will never beg, nor petition men for support. When he who says all the gold and silver of the mountains are mine fails to provide necessary funds, we will understand it to be a time to suspend the publication. Watchtower, I'm sorry, but why you continue over and over you had that one that really started my fascination with you guys begging for money, where you said in order to be a friend of Jehovah, you have to donate finances. You have to give money. In order to be friends with God, you have to give money. How is that consistent with what you were saying back then? And again, you are the ones pointing to these old articles. You are the ones pointing to this stuff and saying, look how consistent we've been. You give some whitewashed baloney revisionist history, and it really pisses me off. So learn from your mistakes. Stop referencing your old history, because every time you do, I'm going to end up reading the entire Watchtower article, and why don't you save us both some time? Because I have to sit here and read through a whole old Watchtower article in like old archaic English. It's like Looney Tunes style. And you have to deal with me bashing you guys on the internet. So do us both a favor. Be better. Stop referencing your old publications. Get busy with your transformation into becoming a more benign organization. Do more for the community. Stop wasting all of this money on real estate investments, and do something for actual people. I know that's where you're going, but we can all get there together.
Typical politician, all talk, no action, sounds good, doesn't work.
Recurring donations help to provide an indication of funds that are available. There's also an arrangement where one can set up a legally executed will to stipulate what they wish to give to the organization, and this helps the organization plan better for the future. They can cancel or change the arrangement according to their circumstances, but it gives them an opportunity to experience Jehovah's joy in giving.
The important decision we made was to follow the advice of the Apostle Paul, to really put aside a specific value. So we planned, we calculated our costs, analyzed the situation, we prayed on the subject, and then we saw the importance of making a will.
Now I know I like to give my hot takes over here at the JW Thoughts channel, but hear me out. Is it the case that they have a aging membership that they aren't really able to get as much money from, and the real strategy behind that is, well, maybe when these people die, we can try and incept this idea that they need to be putting Watchtower in their will instead of their family. Watchtower needs to benefit from their years of hard work and savings and smart financial moves, and their family, they can take care of themselves. The end is coming. It doesn't really matter. I feel like that is what the message is going, that is the intended message. Watchtower knows that the people are getting older, and they're trying to get them comfortable with the idea that, hey, look at these other people. They calculated, they prayed, they used their logical brains, and the conclusion they came up to was what? Well, boy, howdy, I better include Watchtower in my will. I think that's what's going on here. Maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it, but the most hilarious part from this entire video is about to happen.
Jehovah gave us everything. So I think we're just returning what Jehovah gave us. I've come to realize that, in general, that contributions are not a pocket condition, but a heart condition.
This has to be the dumbest logic I've heard in ages. Oh my goodness. Jehovah gave it to us, so we may as well give it back. Then why did he give it to you? Imagine someone goes and is like, I'm going to go feed the homeless, and they buy themselves 1,000 burritos, and then they walk around the city and go and hand out all these burritos, and like, man, I feel great. I really gave someone something. And then they turn around and grab a baseball bat, and they're like, you better throw that up, and you better give me that burrito back. You better give me money for that burrito back. I gave it to you. I expect you to give it back. What are you talking about? Why would I give you something? Like, what kind of maniac only gives gifts expecting something back? What kind of loser is God, where he's like, hey, I'm the master of time and space. I can snap my fingers and give you all of the platinum and gold and diamonds in the world, but I want you to give money back to me if I've given you a gift. I'm expecting something in return. If you want to be my friends and I give you a gift, you need to give something back to me. It's absolutely stupid. Like, they're on actual stupid juice when they're making these, and I just find it fascinating. Every time Watchtower comes out with one of these new begging videos or silently begging videos, they manage to just make it so blatantly, obviously awful and cringe and illogical. It baffles me that they continue to do this, because I feel like they should just stop. Like, just stop. Let it happen. I assume most of their money is coming from investments anyway, but I guess you just have to maybe keep this up, or their donations significantly go down. I think there was one internal video I remember from couple of years ago where they had basically said, yeah, when we made this announcement or made this video or article, we saw like an increase of like $30 million. So I guess begging works. So, hey, if you want to help support my road trip across America, links in the description below. With all that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to smile. And I'm leaving in 3 days now, so I'll see you all soon, and have a good ass day.